It's been a little while since you've heard from me. As we like to say, life was lifing. Between work, travel, and trying to keep all the plates spinning, the podcast had to take a brief pause. But I'm back. You miss me? Let's get into it. While I was away, I had the privilege of delivering a talk as one of the closing sprint speakers at the 2026 ACUHO-I Annual Conference. Standing alongside such talented colleagues was both humbling and an incredible honor. Rather than tell you about the experience, I thought I'd simply share it with you. I hope the message resonates. And if you have the opportunity, be sure to check out the other featured speakers. They definitely dropped a word. Hope you enjoy.
Hello, friends. On behalf of the program committee, I'd like to thank you for attending this year's sprint session. Each year, we hear from delegates that this is one of the most inspiring parts of the program.
Every year, we look across our membership and bring together some of the best speakers to share personal stories. They use the Pechakucha style of 20 slides at 20 seconds per slide. This dynamic method allows them to deliver their story in a powerful way.
This year will be no different, as we have 6 incredible speakers who have amazing stories to tell. There will be a brief introduction before each speaker to give you an idea of who they are. Your job is to make them feel welcomed and supported.
Our first speaker is Dr. Arian L. Bryant, Director of Residence Life and Education at the University of Central Florida. With more than 20 years of experience in higher education and public service, Arian has dedicated his career to helping students thrive and creating communities where people feel supported, connected, and empowered to succeed. Before joining UCF, he held residence life leadership roles at SUNY Albany, Montclair State University, and Rutgers University. In addition to his work on campus, Arian is an active leader in the student affairs profession through NASPA, national speaking engagements, and his scholarship in writing. He's passionate about advancing equity, mentoring emerging leaders, and supporting the development of housing and student affairs professionals. Many also know him as the creator and host of The Boogie Down Scholar, a blog and a YouTube platform where he shares insights on leadership, professional growth, and higher education. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Arian Bryant.
People often ask how I went from the Soundview section of the South Bronx to earning a doctorate and working in higher education. This isn't a story about success. It's a story about leadership, opportunity, and what I learned while trying to move forward without losing myself. The answer begins with the people who raised me. The first leaders I ever knew were my grandmother, my mother, and my aunt. They taught me character, perseverance, humility. They also taught me something I didn't fully appreciate until much later. Never mistake someone's circumstances for their potential. And that brings me to an important truth. As much as I'd like to believe my success was the result of being special, it wasn't. I wasn't smarter, more talented, or even the hardest worker. I worked hard, yes, but so did countless others. The difference was opportunity. In fact, growing up, I was surrounded by talented people, brilliant athletes, natural leaders, creative thinkers, people who could command a room and a project stairwell. Reflecting back, I realized excellence was everywhere around me. What was missing was not talent. What was missing was opportunity. Looking back now, the older I get, the less I view my journey as some evidence of exceptionalism. Instead, I see it as a reminder of the extraordinary potential that exists in communities like the South Bronx, potential that too often goes unseen, unsupported, and unrealized. At the same time, one of my earliest memories of the passing of a loved one involved a friend killed during a stolen car joyride. Over the years, I lost several friends from my neighborhood. 2 were like brothers. Looking back now, I just don't see tragedy. I see unrealized potential. Those losses stayed with me. For years, I carried survivor's guilt. I received chances that others never did. A judge showed mercy. An English teacher quietly opened the door. Opportunity arrived in critical moments. I often wondered why I moved forward while so many talented friends could not. Eventually, I left the Bronx for college. It was exciting, but also disorienting. For the first time, I found myself navigating spaces where few people shared my experiences. I quickly learned that success required more than hard work. It required adaptation. Once there, higher education introduced me to a new set of expectations. I learned how to communicate, present myself, and navigate unfamiliar environments. Some lessons were valuable. Others felt like pressure to be someone else. For a while, I struggled to distinguish between growth and performance. As I adapted to those new environments, I encountered moments that challenged my confidence and sense of belonging. Some were subtle, others were not. Those experiences forced me to ask a difficult question. How do you succeed without losing yourself? Some of those moments involved stereotypes, assumptions, and questions about whether I belonged. Those experiences taught me opportunity is not determined by talent alone. It is often shaped by how others perceive your potential. Fortunately, what made the difference was mentorship. At critical moments, people invested in me. They offered advice, challenged me, opened doors, and expanded what I believed was possible. More than once, someone saw potential in me before I was able to see it in myself. And representation does matter. There's real value in seeing yourself reflected in leadership. But one lesson my journey taught me is that mentorship is ultimately about investment. The leaders who shaped me most were the ones who saw potential in me and chose to help me develop it. Over time, those experiences shaped my interest as both a practitioner and a scholar. Questions about opportunity, identity, leadership, and belonging became areas of study. Scholarship gave language to things I had witnessed growing up and experienced throughout my professional journey. That journey eventually led to a milestone I thought was a destination. Earning a terminal degree was a proud moment for me and my family. But the doctorate never felt like an individual achievement. The diploma carried my name, but it reflected countless others. Yet, the most important lesson came afterward. Somewhere along the way, my understanding of leadership changed. Leadership stopped being about titles and promotions and advancement. It became about responsibility. Responsibility to support others, develop talent, and create opportunities and leave things better than I have found them. And that shift changed how I viewed others. As a professional, I began recognizing something similar in students and staff. I saw the same potential that I saw in my neighborhood. I remembered different backgrounds, different circumstances, same excellence. In turn, my definition of success changed too. Success is not reaching the mountaintop alone. Success is remembering who helped you climb and making sure the ladder remains standing for the people coming behind you. When I reflect on all of it, one lesson stands out. The South Bronx taught me that potential is often overlooked. It taught me that many people do not receive the opportunity to realize their full gifts. That lesson stayed with me throughout every stage of my journey. And ultimately, higher education confirmed what I learned growing up. Excellence is not concentrated in particular neighborhoods, institutions, or demographics. It is widely distributed. Leadership has taught me that our responsibility is not to search for excellence, but to create conditions where it can be seen and developed. Talent is everywhere. Opportunity is not. Thank you.